In order to add value to your leadership, I got to give y'all some rules. All right, I got to give you some rules. Number one, the first rule, and I want you to write this down, is continual learning and growing is part of the process. All right, it's part of the process. It's actually part of the process. So y'all will learn that as you go. Okay, that's part of the process. You have to look to other leaders as examples. Some of you all look to us, and that's cool. And I'm much appreciative. But here's the point I really want to drop into your spirit. You don't have to be an expert or even a leader to understand what it is that I'm teaching. A lot of times people think that you got to be prognosticators of the gospel. They think that you got to be deep and really, really such a great retinue of a preacher. And sometimes you need to understand that forthrightly that it's not about that. I believe that you should have the same mind as Jesus, that you should be able to teach where a little child can understand. Because there will always be some trials and some errors. The key is not to make the same mistake twice. Can y'all write that down, please? The key is not to make the same mistake twice. And I promise you that we're going to go through this law of intentionality, and I'm really going to help you in a great way with that on tonight. I believe that this is going to help you in one of the laws of growth, and you'll probably hear about this a little time later. But I want to give this to you now, and this is something that God has really placed into my heart to really share with you all today. Your ability to become a better leader depends on how you respond and how you react. Please write that down somewhere. You can make that a Facebook status. You might want to put that in your cubicle at work. There's a lot of quotes that I give, and one of my mentees told me a lot of quotes that I give, they drop a nugget. I have a lot of supervisors that work. They drop those nuggets as well. There are people that have jobs, and they have their whole team listening to what I'm talking about in the morning at their job, respectively. And this is what I want to say to you all today. You might want to put this in your cubicle. I know Apostle Resto. I know Bishop Patricia Masterson. She's good at this. She always puts something up that we talk about. And I want to give this to y'all. And I pray that y'all get it. And I pray that y'all get it good. All right. I pray that y'all get it good. Hold on, man. There we go. There we go. Good. Okay. Sorry about that. Thing was just bothering my hand. This sweater, I'm telling you, it's hot. Here it is. Write this down. Your ability to become a better leader depends on how you respond or how you react. Put that somewhere. Leaders, teach that to your leaders in your church. It'll help them. It'll show them how to grow. It'll help them in great areas of how to teach and how to respond in actual leadership. Okay. Here's the next one I want you to write down. Effective leaders are always engaged in this paradigm of a learning cycle. Let me give it to you again. Effective leaders are always engaged in this paradigm of learning cycle. Here it is. Learn it, live it, lead it. Learn it. Come on, let's hear it. Learn it, live it, hear it. Learn it, live it, lead it. Learn it, live it, lead it. So you're going to, in these 15 weeks that we're going to share together, we're going to really deal with some important steps, because I believe that we have to make sure that we're making an indelible mark. We want to make sure that we are helping you in all areas that we can. So really, to discover your own purpose and potential, I need to deal with some areas, and I got to deal with 5 of them. And within these 15 weeks of class, of course, we're going to deal with these effectively. Here they are. The first one we're going to deal with, and some of y'all, again, you can take these notes, you can teach these to your leaders, or better yet, you can actually just take it for yourself and get your impartation to help you be better at what you do. So here it is. Self-awareness, character, skills, relationships, and spirituality. Can y'all write that down, please? In order to discover your own purpose and potential, you got to grow in these areas. Self-awareness, character, skills, relationships, and spirituality. And that's what we're going to do in these 15 weeks to help you be a better leader. All right. Now, something that you're going to want to get, and you can get this in your own time, your own speed, how you feel led. You want to make sure that you get your personal growth journey or journal. You want to get your journal so you can actually track and measure your growth throughout this study. Because there's going to be some things that I'm going to give you that's really going to help you. Okay. So you heard me talk about learn it. All right. Here's the first thing I want to give you in learning it. And I want you to write this down somewhere because I'm going to really help you think. I'm really going to show you some things, and I'm going to really give you some truth on some stuff. And you can have your paper. You can follow along with me because I'm going to be dropping the answers to your blank spaces. Okay. First of all, I want you to write this somewhere on the side piece of paper, put it on the side or on the back of your sheet. Here it is. Do you have a plan to grow? Do you have a plan to actually grow? All right. Do you have a plan to grow? Because growth is not natural. Okay. Growth is not natural. All right. That's what people would always say. Okay. With that being said, all right, do you have a plan to grow? So we're going to talk about some of these growth gaps. All right. Here's the first thing I want you to write down. Personal growth, and it's right here on your paper. Personal growth is not a natural process in most people's lives. So in your space, you're going to put natural process. Okay. How do you think the house you're in right now, or whatever building that you're in right now, was built? In what order were the parts of the building put in place? Have you ever thought about that? In the book, chapter 1, there is a statement that John makes that's very profound. And I wrote it down for our personal time today. He said in chapter 1, he said, if you focus on goals, you may hit goals, but it doesn't guarantee growth. Okay? But if you focus on growth, you will grow and hit growth. Now, hear me very carefully. There is a difference between goals and growing. All right. There is a big difference. So hear me. You need to act. So watch this here. Does anybody know the difference between goals and growing? If so, I want you to type it on the screen if you don't mind for a minute. Just type the answer on the screen. And then after that, we're going to go through these growth gap traps. Okay, we'll go through them. But I just want to ask you all this question. Do you know the difference between goals and growth? All right. I want y'all to help me with that. If I'm looking away, it's because I'm looking at the other screen to see your comments, because my phone is not allowing me from where I am to see any comments you make. So I got to look at another screen. OK. Do you know the difference between goals and growth? And I want y'all to talk back to me. Give me an answer. There is a big difference. Goals in most people's lives, they actually look at some things as just hitting targets. But when you're growing, you are excelling. You are speaking to your future. And I believe it's very important. It's very paramount because one thing about it, you have to know exactly what you're shooting for. All right. Barbara Barron says that goals can change and fluctuate up and down, but growth is expansive. That's absolutely true. And I want to say to you that's listening, and the rest of you all, I want you all to piggyback. I want you to dialogue with me. Understand your growth is about to enlarge. In this 15 weeks, you're going to learn about a peripheral of things. Some of us, we like goals. I'm a person that like growth. I'm a person that's never moved by goals. I set high goals for myself, and I hit goals, hear me, that I know I'm going to hit. Watch this here. And I go beyond my sphere of thinking when I first put a project together. So hear me, I think way above something that I know I cannot hit at that time. But I put myself in a position to grow as well as I'm setting my goals. Are you listening to me? You should be growing as you are setting goals. You should find yourself into a place where you are moving into the place of limitless impossibility of thinking. All right. So you have to increase. You have to increase in what it is that you are called to do, what you're trying to do, and what you are predestined to do. Some stuff is getting to a great place, and I am looking for a wonderful time in how God is doing some stuff. And I just believe that you can make some greater things happen. I am making sure that we move into the greatest possibilities as possible, and forthrightly, that we are growing together. That's very important to me. So I see a lot of you commenting now. Ambition versus development process. That's very true. You got to know exactly where you're progressing. So hear me. You have to know the difference between goals and growth. You all are doing great already. Good evening, Jessica. Love you much. Thank you for being part of us on tonight. Amen. That's great. All right. So let's talk about these growth traps for a minute. I kind of want to get these out of the way so that way we can kind of move to where we should be for tonight, okay? The assumption gap, okay? I assume that I will automatically grow, okay? Put the word automatically there. I want to tell you right now, if one assumes that he or she will automatically grow, what is the likely outcome? A lot of times you're not going to get to that desired place. You cannot go in with a hot head. You got to keep a cool head in a hot storm. And you have to understand, don't always be under the assumption that you're the end all to be all. You have to sometimes say to yourself, look, I must achieve, I must excel, but hear me, never go into a place of always assuming that you got all the answers. How can one know if they are growing or not? You have to set some metrics for your life. So don't just automatically assume that you're that great. Don't automatically assume that you're going to always be the smartest person in the room. Don't always assume that everybody is going to just let you just walk in and do what you want to do. There has to be, hear me very carefully, people, there has to be an a room margin, amen, for growth in anything that you do. You got to want to get better every day. I do it every single day. My staff will tell you, I challenge myself to get better every single day because I know I impact lives. I know that I say things that help people grow. I know that I'm maximizing their possibilities of thinking. So they're always challenging me to be the best at what I can be. So hear me. I always assume, you cannot always assume that. And that's a trap. You walking in, oh man, I got this. Oh man, I'm going to take this light. Oh, I'm going to show them. And guess what? You'll find out you'll be the dumbest person in the room. I'm going to tell you, the emptiest wagon makes the most noise. And sometimes you got to want to go in and be a sponge and learn all that you can learn. Amen. All right. So the assumption gap is I assume that I will automatically know. That is a trap. Here's number 2, the knowledge gap. I don't know how to grow. I don't know how to grow. All right. So write that in there. Don't know how. Okay. Now, not knowing how to grow can be a powerful reason to simply not try to grow. People will use that as a crutch, and they'll try to use it to try to say, hey, look here, I can't do it. I don't want to do it that way. No, you got to make sure that you're understanding that knowledge is power. And you got to want to learn and move into that place where you want to get all the knowledge that you can. Okay. If one does not know how to grow, then one needs to ask those who do. All right. So if you don't have the answer, ask somebody that does. And show them and ask them to help you get to that place. If you've never been a successful itinerant preacher, ask someone what are the keys to being a good itinerant preacher. What are the do's and don'ts of being a traveling evangelist? You got to get knowledge. Knowledge is power. To be a good minister, you should ask, what does one need to do to be a good author? What does one need to do? How can I make myself become better if I'm staying stuck in my yesterday? You have to want to get the knowledge. You got to want to show yourself approved. A workman under God needed not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word. So you want to make sure that you're following that process. All right. Number 3 is timing. It's not the right time to begin. That is a big trap. Timing. It is not the right time to begin. I'm giving you the traps that people will talk about and share. Now, is everybody with me? I'm not going too fast, am I? Please let me know, because I want to make sure that I'm right there. We at number 3, the timing gap. If y'all can type back on the screen, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. All right. So I want to make sure. So y'all talk back to me real quick. Amen. All right. I'm waiting on y'all to type back to me. All right. Y'all with me. Good. All right. Good. So the law of diminishing intent. Okay. What happens the longer we wait to begin our journey? We get further behind. I don't like people who blame timing as their reason for not getting started. Can I tell you something? It's never going to be the right time as long as you use the word as an excuse. I'm a firm believer. Your time is now. You don't have next. You right now. And sometimes you wait on other people when you really know it's in you right now to do it. And I challenge all of you in week 1 of the law of intentionality to become intentional, to live a life of significance, that it just does not happen. It's just not going to fall into your lap. You have to say to yourself, look here, man, I'm going to get up off my do nothing and do something. My time is right now. I don't have time to be waiting on people. I got to do it right now. If they don't want to go, I'm going to go. Look here, if you got a chance to make some money, you ain't going to wait on other people because they don't want to do it. Guess what? You got to start saying to yourself, I want to do it because I know it's the right thing in me to do. I want to show myself that I can do it. I am what I'm supposed to be. So hear me, using the timing gap that it's not the right time, you're going to miss it. You're going to get further behind. You're going to stay stuck in a place. And some of the reasons or the excuses that we may offer that timing is not good for us is because we don't really want to grow. We say we want change, but do we really want change? So you got to ask yourself that. What do you think about the idea of starting your journey even though you're scared and unprepared? Let me say that to you again. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. You know you're supposed to start, but you're scared and you're unprepared. You're scared because you don't know what's on the other side of the comma. I must tell you, and I must caution you, I must warn you, it is the time for you to do what you're supposed to do and not worry about what others have to do and what they have to say. You must move and shift to the place that you should be and make sure that you're not using excuses for the reason why you're not growing to the place that you need to be. Amen. Amen. All right. Number 4, the mistake gap. I am afraid of making mistakes. I am afraid of making mistakes. So number 1 is I assume that I will automatically grow. That is the assumption gap. The knowledge gap is I don't know how to grow. Number 3 is the timing gap. It is not the right time to grow. I'm on number 4. Here it is, the mistake gap. I am afraid of making mistakes. All right. Remember, growing is not always clean and a neat pursuit. Please write that down somewhere. Somebody gonna put that on Facebook. I know you are. Growing is not always a clean and neat pursuit. It's not. Sometimes when you're growing, I'm gonna tell you, you got to grow out in highs. Prime example, my hair growing all out of control, looks nothing like me. But hear me, it's part of the process. It's not neat. It looks nasty. It doesn't look right. But hear me, at the end result, when it grows the way that it's supposed to grow, if I allow it to grow, watch this here, it would be perfect for what I'm trying to do. But hear me, you got to understand, you're going to make mistakes along the way. No one ever does nothing right the first time they do it. You hear me say this all the time. The first time you preached your first sermon, you wasn't that good. I know they said amen, preach it, and shouted for you and ran and did all that speaking in tongue, carrying on. You wasn't that good when you first started. You didn't know what you were doing. You had to perfect yourself. You had to get better. The more you studied, the more you got yourself together. Anybody ever did their first sermon and you noticed you wrote a whole bunch of stuff, but you couldn't even get to all that because the spirit was a certain way. You saw all them people, you got nervous and you started making mistakes. You started rambling over things that you knew you were going to talk about. You kind of like move past that. And that's because, hear me, we are afraid of making mistakes. But can I tell you, you're going to make them. You're going to make them all in your life. You're going to make them as a parent. You're going to make them at your job. You're going to make them in any entity of your life. I make mistakes. Amen. I make them. Amen. And hear me, I don't always make the best decision according to people. I think I make a good decision. Amen. But I'm telling you, I am trying to make sure that I get what I'm supposed to do. And hear me very carefully. You can do it. You can do that. Amen. Pastor Barbara saying she tried to finish her a bachelor's in her 50s. Well, guess what? You did it and you got it done. Amen. And I'm telling you, you are an overcomer. You are a well achiever, and you're gonna have doctor attached to your name very, very soon. Come on, give God some praise. Amen. And you're right, Resto. Guess what? There are still times in 29 years of preaching. May 17th will make 30 years of preaching. And can I tell you something? It is still days when I still have those butterflies. Every time I go to a new church for the first time, are they going to receive me? Are they going to feel me? I've been to new church. I've been to some of my churches. They have grown through the seams. When I seen them new people, will they receive me? What do they know about me? Have they heard of me? So sometimes, and you don't want to make mistakes, but you're going to make them because it's part of the process. All right. What would you attempt if you knew you would not fail? Amen. You got to ask yourself questions like that. Once you really decide to grow, you must understand, expect the mistakes, and welcome your mistakes as a sign that you're moving in the right direction. Can you please write that down somewhere, please? Please write that down. Expect mistakes, welcome them as a sign that you're moving in the right direction. All right? Make sure that you put that down. Make sure that you put that down, okay? Let me say it one more time. You must expect mistakes, welcome them as a sign that you're moving in the right direction, okay? Please put that down. All right, so you got the first four. The assumption gap is that I will automatically grow. That's a mistake. The knowledge gap, I don't know how to grow. The timing gap, it's not the right time to grow. The mistake gap, I'm afraid of making mistakes. Okay, let's keep on going real quick. Amen. Let's keep on going real quick. The perfection gap, the perfection gap. All right, the perfection gap. I have to find the best way before I start. I have to find the best way before I start. Let me say it again. I have to find the best way before I start. Okay. I can't move out of fear of making a mistake. Okay, that's the perfection gap. I will move only when I have the perfect plan. Biggest mistake of them all. Anybody that know God, serve God, and God told you to do something, just ask Moses. He told him, hey, go tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Thought he had the perfect plan. He knew exactly what to say. The last thing he ever thought, Pharaoh was going to say no. Are y'all listening to me? You cannot move when you have a perfect plan. Sometimes you got to move when you don't see it. And I'm telling you from prime example, for sure enough good reasons. There are times in my life where I did not know where God was taking me. I just went. And when I got there, I have to tell you, it was a beautiful place. When God told me to move on anything, it was a beautiful thing. But hear me, if I'm sitting around waiting on perfection, trying to be a perfectionist, I'm not going to get to where it is that I need to be. Now, I think a lot of times you use perfection as an excuse not to get started at all. Amen, somebody. The best plans for growing and for it to happen is not before we grow. We're going to have to grow through those things to make sure that we are perfecting ourselves as we go through the journey. As we go through this cycle, you will understand that you got to find the best way before you start. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes you just got to trust God when he tells you to do something. I trust God in everything he tells me to do. Hear me. I don't like some stuff, but I do it. There's some things I don't like, but I do it. And when I do it, I make it happen. Hold on one second. Yes, ma'am.
Call me when you get done. I want to show you the dance stuff.
Okay, cool. No problem. All right. Bye. Hey, good. So listen, y'all. So it's very important to me that I follow through and I make sure that I'm doing what God has called for me to do and to make my life even better, to move past perfection. I had to learn I'm not going to be perfect. As much as I want to be, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be all that I should be, but I'm trusting God that I'll be able to be better than what I used to be. All right. Number 6, the inspiration gap. The inspiration gap. I don't feel like growing. I love this one here. This is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Out of all the gaps that I'm getting ready to give you, this is the one that requires the simple decision. Will I do it or not? Will I do it or not? You got to discuss the truth of the matter. You got to deal with the elephant in the room right here. The major difference between those who do it and those that don't is those who do it actually do it. Please write that down. I'm going to tell you right now, when God gave me that, it really helped me. The major difference between those who do it and those who don't do it is those that do it, do it. Let me give it to you one more time. The major difference between those who do it and those who don't do it are those who do it, do it. Y'all got it? Please have that down. Because see, your feelings are really unreliable. Action makes the difference. You are more likely to act yourself into a feeling than feeling yourself in action. Please write that down. Please write that down. You are more likely to act yourself into a feeling than feeling yourself into an action. Everybody got that down? I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to help y'all tonight. That's very important. Number seven. Here we go. Number 7. The comparison gap. The comparison gap. Others are better than I am. That's the biggest mistake that you can ever speak out of your mouth and allow your mind to actually think. Because there are 2 truths about other people. And I got to tell y'all this. There's always somebody better. There's always somebody better. And can I tell you the second reason? Rejoice for the better ones. For you will learn from those out in front of you. Please write that down. Please. Those are 2 truths about other people. There's going to always be somebody. There's somebody better than me. There's somebody better than you. There's somebody better than your mama. Somebody better than your daddy. Somebody better than your pastor. Somebody better than your archbishop. Better than somebody of your covering. It's always somebody better. It's always somebody better. You're not the only one that know how to prophesy. There's a better prophet than you. There's somebody better, a better evangelist, a better pastor, a better teacher, a better apostle. It's always somebody better. It's always somebody better. Hey, look, there are people better than me, and I think I'm pretty good. And if nobody tells me that I'm good, I know that I'm good. That is confidence, not arrogance. I know what I do. 29 years in, I've learned some things. I'm good at some things. Amen. I'm smart. I can do some things. And trust me when I tell you, there is somebody out here better than me. There's somebody who's been doing it longer than me. There's somebody who's made some mistakes like I had and bounced back. There are some that I never bounced back from. There are some things that I still harbor. There are some things I still resent. There's some things that I have not gotten over. And some people, they're better because they gotten over it faster than me. So you got to understand that. But hear me. I take great delight in rejoicing for those people because they're out in front of me and I can actually learn. One of the things that I've learned just recently is that I can say I love you. I can say I'm going to be here for you. And there will be people that don't want you. They'll walk away from you, and you just got to learn in this season of your life. In order to win, you got to sometimes give people what they want. Don't let them cross back in. I can't be like the Gap Band walking in and out of my life. I got to let people do what they decide to do. And hear me. I used to struggle in that area. I used to struggle that if people tried to leave my life and be mad. Now you can leave my life and never return. And hear me. And now I put tape on the door. There is no way for re-entry. But I had to learn that comparison gap that other people are better than me. And I had to learn some of these traps. But I had to come to truth with some of them. Someone may be looking to you as the better. Are you listening to me? Are y'all listening to me? You got to know that somebody may be looking to you as the better. So you got to be truthful in that aspect. And here's the last one for the growth gap trap. Okay. It's called the expectation gap. So let's go through all of them again. Okay. The assumption gap. That is, I assume that I will automatically grow. Number 2, the knowledge gap. I don't know how to grow. Number 3, the timing gap. It's not the right time to begin. Number 4, the mistake gap. I'm afraid of making mistakes. Number 5, the perfection gap. I have found the best way before I started. Inspiration gap. I don't feel like growing. Number 7, the comparison gap. Others are better than I am. And here's number 8. Hear me. The expectation gap. I thought it would be easier than this. Let me lay out this paradigm. What is lucky is usually not. Please write that down. What is lucky is usually not. So let me give it to you. Now you see where it got a line plus, a line plus, a line plus, a line equals a line. Here we go. Here's what I want you to write on the first one. Preparation. And right next to the word preparation, I want you to write growth before the plus sign. Okay, so put preparation / growth plus attitude. Okay? Preparation, growth plus attitude plus opportunity plus action equals luck. So I want you to write next to that, above the word luck, write blessed. Write that down. Because if Rome wasn't built in a day, how long are you willing to give yourself? Are y'all listening to me? Now I want you to write this down. This is getting ready to help you. This is getting ready to show y'all some great things. This is getting ready to shift. This is getting ready to catapult and shift you into some transitional things here. And write this down. Growth starts with preparation. Write that down. Growth starts with preparation. Let me give it to you one more time. Growth starts with preparation. This study is part of your preparation. The law of intentionality, hear me, is part of your preparation. So we're going to talk about the live it part now. We're going to talk about the live it part. Okay, we're going to talk about that. All right. So in talking about that, I believe we got to start making the transition to intentional growth. So I got to ask you the big question now. Okay, I got to ask you the big question now. I got to do it with you now. I got to, so letter A is this. It is ask the big question now. Okay, please put that on your line. What is the big question now? So let me ask you these questions. I want you to write them down because you're going to need to answer them in your meditation and in your private times. Where do you want to go in life? Where do you want to go? What is your plan? Where do you want to go? Because there has to be more to life than driving down 57 and I-55 and I-80 down to Rouville, Mississippi, going down to Tunica, going down to Jackson, going down to Arkansas, going to Memphis. It got to be more than that. It's got to be more than just going to Disneyland. It got to be more than just going to your granny's house in Alabama. It's got to be more to that. So you got to know, where do you want to go in life? All right, where do you want to go in life? And I'm going to be asking you these questions. Dr. Eason, you are on here. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to our actual page, and I want you to begin to type these questions down. Please write them down, and then I want you to go and make separate posts, because this is going to be your homework for the week. You're going to have to answer these 4 questions. You're going to have to answer these 4 questions. Here they are. You can write them down, but Dr. Eason is going to make 4 different posts, and she's going to say to you, according to week 1's lesson, you must answer it. All right. In order to make transition to intentional living or intentional growth, here's question number 1. Where do you want to go in life? That's question 1. Question 2, what direction do you want to go? All right. What direction do you want to go? Okay. Here's the next one. What's the furthest you can imagine going? What is the furthest you can imagine going? And here's number 4. How long will it take you? Now understand something. Not having all the answers to these questions immediately is normal, but ask them and keep exploring them daily. So I'm giving you up until next Tuesday to answer these 4 questions in these 4 posts. You got it, Dr. Easton? Talk back to me. Check in with me. Let me know you got them. All right. Here's question number 1. Where do you want to go in life? Question number 2, what direction do you want to go? Number 3, what is the furthest that you can imagine going? And number 4, how long will this take? Okay, you got to have those answers. Okay, you got to have them. They're going to be part of your homework. Okay, here's letter B. Now notice I said to y'all on your paper, you have letter A. And I said ask the big question now. The letter B is going to be do it now. Okay, do it now. Okay, please write that down. Do it now. Do it now. All right. Now watch this here. Yes. I want you to look at your watch and tell me when your watch says someday and it strikes someday. You know how your clock strikes 12, strikes 3, strikes 6, strikes 9. Tell me when your clock gonna strike someday. It's never gonna do that. Now is the time to start whatever it is that you're trying to start. I hope y'all listening to me. So I want to know, what are you waiting for? Do it now. Never put off tomorrow what you can do today. You can do this and you can make it happen. Okay? Letter C, face the fear factor. Face the fear factor. All right? What is the face the fear factor? Fear of failure. Fear of trading security for the unknown. And don't worry, I'm going to give all these to you again. Fear of being overextended on resources. Fear of what other people think. And fear of pushing others away. Let me give them to you again. These are fear factors. The fear of failure. The fear of trading security for the unknown. The fear of being overextended on resources. That means like your time, your money, your energy. The fear of what others think. And the fear that success will push people away. So which emotion is stronger? The desire to change and grow, or the one that fears? Okay? That's very important. Very, very important. Now, here's where we're going to close for the day. Here's where we're going to close for the day, because it don't take much. I want you to look at your chart where it says accidental growth to intentional growth. Your plan is, and watch this here, I want you to rate yourself. Now listen to this. I want you to rate yourself and place an X on the chart to show where you see yourself right now. Okay? Now I want you to look at plans on starts tomorrow. Insist on starting now. Put an X and be truthful to which one are you. Letter D, it says change from accidental to intentional growth. Sorry about that. Change from accidental to intentional. So letter A is ask the big questions now. B, do it now. C, face the fear factor. D, change from accidental to intentional growth. Got it? I want to make sure everybody's there with me. So here it is. I want to make sure we're doing this. Now, don't lie and say that you got X's all under intentional growth. Be honest with yourself, because if not, you're about to waste the next 14 weeks of your life. Okay? So you're either going to say to yourself, you're a person that says, oh, I'll start that tomorrow. Or you're a person that insists on starting the moment you say you're going to do it. Put an X there. The next one, wait for the growth to come. Or you take responsibility to grow. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. I want somebody. Here it is. All right. Let me go with Lady Tate. Lady Tate, I want you to either type on the screen, which one are you right now? Are you a person that says, I'll wait till tomorrow? Or are you a person that starts immediately? I want you to put your answer on the screen. Lady Campbell, I want you to put the answer to this on the screen. You either wait for growth to come or you take responsibility to grow. Okay? I want you to put your answer on the screen. Okay? Let me see here. Lady Barron, I want you to put on the screen. You learn only from mistakes, or you learn before the mistakes. Okay? Now, you put on the screen which one you are at right at this moment. Okay, I don't know if Lady Horace is still on with me, because I know they normally be in Bible study, so she probably was watching on her way. I'm not really sure. I want you to answer this question. You depend on good luck, or you rely on hard work? Now, hear me. You got to be truthful, okay? So whatever one you put is fine, okay? Quit early and often, or preserve long and hard? I'm a person that preserves long and hard. I'm a person that preserves long and hard. Okay. All right. That's just me. That's just me. That's how I make it happen. Okay. Now that's just me. Okay. All right. Good. Okay, Lady Janice. I want you to answer the question that I just gave for you. Okay, I want you to answer that question. Okay, depends on good luck. Okay, so I got to take you to become intentional on that. I got to get you to rely on the hard work. Okay, starting now, that's good. I like that. But take responsibility to grow. All right, you learn from your mistakes. That's good. All right, so we're gonna just keep going like that. Dr. Easton, are you still on here with me? Amen. Let me know if you're still on here with me, please. Let me know. Okay, and you're going to go down the list of that, and I want you to answer that question, and I want you to be honest with yourself as you begin to grow into that place of intentionality. Okay, so I want you to do that. I want you to do that, and I want to make sure that we are flowing and that you are actually flowing in that actual regard. I got 4 questions. Did you get those 4 questions that I asked Dr. Eason to make those 4 different posts? I want you to do that for me, please. I want you to do that for me and do them 4 different posts on the questions that I asked. All right, listen. So when you live, now remember I said the last one is lead it. So when you live this law, you're going to be able to show others the way and how to empower them to help them grow, and they can live it too. Now, y'all have it. All right. And then that way that you can go through it. Now, if you look at what we did today, look at what we did today. Amen. Look at what we did today. We talked about the assumption gap, the knowledge gap, the timing gap, the mistake gap, the perfection gap. Amen. We talked about all of them. Amen. We talked about all of them. Amen. And I like that. We talked about all of them, and talking about all of them, that we can make ourselves better. We can make ourselves stronger. And most importantly, that we can really get to the place that God has called for us to be. All right. So here we go. If you really want to grow, look at the bottom of the sheet. It says take some time and write out a growth plan and address each area above. Okay? And take the first step today to grow. Look at your calendar. Specific, focus. Remember, growing is not a goal, but it's a lifelong process that must start with being intentional. Y'all see that? While growing may say simplistic and simplistic, it is the beginning of action. And that's what we're going to do.